Okay, now what do we do in econometrics? We have the data and we try to fit the best fitting line around this data. Okay, so suppose we have this data along with us. Okay, so well, this data could be anything. Say for example, X could be the education and Y could be income. Okay, so as you increase your education, your income increases. Okay, so well, this may not be such a linear relationship as it is looking here, but for the time being, let's suppose that to be true. This is the actual data which we have, and we run a regression and we got this line. Okay, this is the regression line which we get. We fit the best fitting line around this data. This is what we do. We ask the questions like, are there more variables affecting Y? Say for example, income level could also be affected by various other factors apart from education. So for example, even your geography. Supposedly, if you're sitting in US, you might have more income than a person who's sitting in India with the same education level. It may or may not be true, but in general, that's true. Okay, so again, with experience also, your income increases. Okay, so the two person with same level of education, the person who has more experience will get more income. So these are the other variables which are affecting Y. Okay, so then you have, will you really get such a line? Okay, will you be able to get such a regression line? We try to build the causality between the variables. Like how are these variables related? Okay, well, there is a difference between the correlation and causality. We'll talk about it later. So this red mark is as an angle which you are seeing out there. This is the slope of the line. What is the slope telling you? See this line, this green line, I mean, you can very easily show it like Y is equal to mx plus c. Okay, in your standard algebra, you might have done this Y is equal to mx plus c form. Okay, so this angle is actually the slope. What does it tell you? Well, it tells you that if you increase x by 1 unit, how much would Y increase? Okay, and your intercept is telling you that if you keep x 0, how much would Y increase? What would be the level of Y? Okay, say for example, even in case if your education is 0, will there be any income? Okay, may or may not be. If you see some of the workers who have no education, some illiterate workers, they also earn something. Okay, so that might be the intercept here. And if you increase the education by 1 unit, okay, say for example by 1 year of education, how much of income would increase? So that is what we see out here. This is what your slope is telling you. This is just the basics of econometrics. In the first 2 recordings, I'll just try to build up. Well, if you look at these lines, what you try to find out is that these blue dots are basically the actual data which you have. Okay, and the green line is a fitted line. Fine. The line which you have got after running a regression. Fine. So if you imagine your spreadsheet, you have the actual data of Y with you. Fine. You have the actual income levels for each educational level. You have the actual income level, but then you run a regression and you get these Y hats. You get the estimated Ys. All these estimated Ys are the points on this green line. They could be the difference between this estimated Y and the actual Y. Okay. And these red lines are basically telling you that. And these are the errors. These errors could be positive. These errors could be negative. At times your estimated Y could be greater than the actual Y, and at times your estimated Y could be lesser than actual Y. Your goal is to basically minimize these errors through various estimation techniques. One of the estimation technique and which is most widely used is OLS, your ordinary least squares. We'll be talking about that in short while. If you look at your data, it is actually running around like this. It is running around like this. Okay. Well, if you see your fitted line, it is running linearly like this. Okay. So data may be spread out. Okay. This your fitted line is like this. Okay. So this is what we do in general in econometrics. We have the data. We try to see we try to find out what is the best fitted line around this data, and we get this fitted line by minimizing the errors through various estimation techniques, whatever we have. Okay, and then I've told you what exactly the slope of this regression line telling you, what is the intercept of this regression line telling you. Okay.